Yeah, fellas, welcome to the show today. I'm going to talk about the number one secret. That if you learn this secret that other gurus are not teaching, you won't find another guru teaching this anywhere except here. If you learn this one secret, your game with women will unfold in front of you. If you truly master and truly understand this one secret, it'll open up a whole new world of dating for you. And I challenge all of the dating gurus out there, so-called gurus, to prove me wrong. Are you ready? Women do the choosing. What does that mean? It means women choose who they're going to be with. They choose who they open their legs for. They choose whose penis they'll put their mouth on, who puts their thing up their behinds. They choose who's going to do that. So to all you so-called gurus who use that marketing ploy of you could be 5 foot tall, short, fat, and balding, fuck you. Stop lying. Now, if you think a 6 foot tall model, because I always plug in 6 foot tall model, you be short, fat, and balding, it's still with my techniques, pull these 6 foot tall models. I don't know why anybody want to model anyway, but using my stuff, you can pull these types of women. I say quit lying. Women do the choosing. If you think that 6 foot tall model wants to date someone that's 5 feet tall on average, I'm not talking about the exceptions. I'm talking about the norm. Norm means normal in the real world. If you think she wants to date someone like that and then be laughed at by her friends, you got another thing coming. Sorry to put it so brutally like this, fellas, but I get people coming to my site. They haven't read my book, 7 Steps. So I'm having to teach the whole game to them and having to break the little hearts that women do the choosing. But there is a market for pretty much everybody out there. I've been out in the real world. I've seen ugly guys with girlfriends. And I'd say they were hot, but they had a woman by their side. I've seen abnormally short guys, 5 feet tall. In fact, I was training the wife of one. They had wives, they had girlfriends. They were dating. I've seen all types of guys out there in the real world because I'm open and I pay attention. But their women chose. There are no magic scripts that you can spit out at and yell at a woman's face and she'll immediately fall down and spread her legs for you. That's garbage. That's marketing. There are no magic stories you can yell in her face and she'll think you're the greatest guy on earth. So there's this thing called attraction, which they've totally fucked up on the internet. They've totally made it look like if you follow my plan, you will be the most attractive guy on the planet. They just won't be able to help themselves. Bullshit. Bullshit. Then they try to say that women are stupid. Again, bullshit. Women don't know what they want. Bullshit. I've been in the real world for a long time. They know what they want. They know what they like. But there's a market for everybody, just about. If you're a soft, Comic-Con, emo guy with no masculinity, there are women that like guys like that. Little worms of males. They like that. I don't know what their issue is, but they like that. If you're a burly, rugged lumberjack dude, there's a market for that too. Believe me, I know that. I was dressing like one. I wore my flannel shirts, my lug boots, my jeans. I'm sitting in a restaurant, and a woman comes up and gives me a number. I've been talking about that for years, living off my glory. So if women do the choosing, does that mean that you can learn these hypnotic scripts and go up and hypnotize her into giving you her number or liking you? No. Hypnosis doesn't work like that, for one thing. So if you see some guy advertising that type of nonsense, run. Actually, if it's in person, slap the shit out of that dude. We're trying to sell you a bunch of bogus crap. In a dating or the dating online, the dating information online has gotten so skewed, so convoluted, so corrupted. When I first came online, people were teaching real skills. This started with the rise of PUAism, about 2005, 2006. Before that, there were decent dating coaches that taught real skills. Then the rise of PUAism and some of the magic bullshit started happening. Unfortunately, women do the choosing. Prove me wrong. The guys that go out, let's say you get a bunch of gaggle of geeks and in the PUAs, and they go out and one guy gets successful. He's running his stories and running scripts. What he doesn't realize is that the woman actually chose. There's something about him that she liked. If we go back to Mystery in the first show, the fellow named Cosmo, one of my students actually got training from him. In that show, the woman said, "It's not what you said, but how you looked." What does that do for the rest of us who don't look good like that? There's still a market for us. Yeah, it won't be the hot chick that you're thinking. You go to the club and you chase the coyote ugly chicks and all that stuff. You wonder why you're always failing. But you miss the girl that's more on your level, that's been giving you eye contact, and she's giving up because she sees you, slathering over the hot chicks. It's unfortunate that life is like that. It would be a perfect world if I could just be butt-ass ugly, and everyone who was butt-ass ugly and looks didn't matter. But in some ways, looks do matter to women. Not as bad as we think, because women are more lenient, and also like different types of looks. Like there's guys, with big noses and big bodies, big burly dudes. There are women that love that type because they feel safe with them. I'm referring to the bouncer guy type of dude, the bald head, the swole body, because he's a protector. Hey, when you bounce, you get a lot of phone numbers. Okay, so there's a look for just about everything out there, including the what do you call it now? The hipster look. That's in. The guy with the glasses and he's got the beard thing going on. There's a market for that look. Believe it or not. And they're little sensitive guys with big foreheads. There's a market for it. You have to find the women that like what you have to offer. Hopefully, when you're offering your product, which is you, is up to par. I believe in bring your A game first, not just you jump in when you're at your D level, and I believe in fix yourself up a little bit first, at least get to your C level. Okay, so women do the choosing. If you meditate on that, let's see. There's no way I can hypnotize that hot babe into dropping down right then and there and bending over and let me stick my dick in her, because she chooses who she lets in between her legs. So I bypassed the dating process because that's what I did. I have to calculate in the dating process. So let me rephrase that statement. If I can get a date with that girl over there, I have trouble with the dating thing. If I can get a date with that girl over there, let's see, after the date, and I can talk her, maybe talk her into come back to my place. That's why guys end up on like 6 dates and they haven't gotten any. She's not attracted to them, but she'll use that dude for some free dinners. So if women do the choosing, if you meditate on that, the concept of giving them something to choose should occur to someone with normal intelligence. Give them something to choose. Well, giving them something to choose means you got to think. What do girls like? What type of men do girls like? Well, if you did anything online, you know that they like men. They like rugged men. They like strong men. Basically, kind of like the jocks in high school that you guys hated. Many of you hated. And you see the women that flock to them, the cheerleaders. They like men that can do things, men that are masculine. They like men that can protect them. What do you do if you're a geek, an internet nerd? Would it not make sense to, if you're trying to, attract these uber hot chicks, would it not make sense to go to the gym and increase your masculinity? Because you have more to offer. You also have a brain, right? Excuse me. When you look at what they want, when you look at what they want to feel, what does a woman want to feel? How about physical safety? How many guys can make a woman feel physically safe? Again, that's why you go to the gym. That's why you might want to learn self-defense so you can protect yourself. The worst thing is for you to get your butt beat in front of your girlfriend. Many years ago, I met this girl at Harlow's. That's in my town. It's a nightclub in my town. They have bands and shit like that. And the next morning, we went to breakfast. I'm standing in a queue because the place was crowded. We're in a line of people, and I'm wearing a long jean coat. And suddenly, I'm talking to her. Suddenly, this dude pushes me. And I turned around and I looked at him. And then I looked at her. She doesn't know me very well. So I said, okay, I'm not going to do the N-word thing. We got our seat. I just couldn't let it go. I could not. I'm sorry. I can't let some shit like that slide. So I said, told her, excuse me. And I went back to the dude. And I asked him, hey, you just pushed me. The fuck you pushed me for? He goes, well, your coat was over my table. Some guy with a big forehead, and him and his girlfriend sitting there. And I said to him, you might want to be a little bit more careful doing that. Because some people might just, and then he started yelling, get out of there, get away from me. You're going to break your parole. I thought that was a little bit cute. And then I read it out, and I called him a faggot. I told him to stand up like a man. I was yelling, stand the fuck up. And the dude never stood up. So he looked like a bitch in front of his woman. I saw her look at him, then look down. And I knew that I did more damage he ever did. I destroyed his masculinity in front of his female. You have to learn to at least project an energy that you could protect a female. That's why they like police officers. They actually like police officers, firemen, people of authority, bouncers. Got a lot of numbers ones bouncing. So if you look like you could protect them, and I know if you're a small body person, you still look tough. You don't have to look like a little boy. You don't want to dress like a little boy. One thing black dudes do is they sag. It looks like they have no legs. And then they got to walk. You see them holding the front of their pants up. That's just like boyish. But I guess there's a market for that in the black community. Trash type of women would like that. They also want to feel an emotional connection. Something that since I've been online, I've noticed I never realized there were males that could not empathize with people. I'd never run into that before. I never talked to my older brother. We may say now we're speaking a little bit, but he's a nerd. He's got that same mentality. There are black nerds, by the way. And as a kid, I never knew there was something wrong with them. I never knew it because we were kids. He can't form emotional connections. I didn't realize there were people like that out there in the world. But that's what women crave, is an emotional connection. That's why when they go on their dates with you, they'll say, I just didn't feel the connection. You need to learn to be able to emotionally connect to your women during your conversations. How do you do that, Supreme? I've been asked, how do you show empathy? By being a normal human being and having being able to open your heart to other people's problems, trials, and tribulations. You also want to feel trust. And being a player, that was one thing I knew I had to learn to sell. You can trust me. I got good at selling that. Girls would take a chance. She said, I'll take a chance. Right, Jovina? You took a chance. You said, yeah, you're going to take a chance because I got you to think that way.
I think most women in general want to get into a relationship or getting into a relationship. That's generally how they think. They're pretty much
take a chance. Yeah. You roll of dice. Is this guy going to be insecure after I date him? Is he going to be an asshole? Is he going to be weak? Yeah. Asshole and weak, they go together. Needy.
After being in a relationship, it's not always perfect, but because you don't learn everything about each other until
you're actually into a freaking relationship. Yeah. They also want to feel like it's destiny. And that one, I worked that one. Along with destiny, surrendering to something greater than themselves. I use that like a mother. I believe in it myself. I believe every girl that I've met, we were destined to meet. Because remember, I approached life and the game through energy. And my energy was strong enough to attract them into my life. They needed what I had to offer. Okay? That's why I don't feel guilty. They needed that lesson, that life lesson on messing with players. Many of them, after me, settled down with nice guys or nicer males. Not all. They always cut their hair and do something different, but yeah. Also, something that we often forget, they want emotional variety. Boredom is like kryptonite to women. If you don't have emotional ranges, be able to at least stimulate emotional variety in women, you're going to suck badly. If you're like a regular, typical internet geek or nerd or gamer, you have no idea of how to stimulate your woman's emotional ranges. You got to learn to play them like a Stradivarius to keep her happy. Now, right now, because I said to keep her happy, there's those type of MGTOWers. Why do you have to do that? If you want to be king of your castle, there are things you got to do. A king doesn't just sit there and be a king. In fact, it takes a lot of work to be a fucking king. See, you guys who live in the fantasy world of anime shit don't realize how it is in the real world. Being a master with a slave? A lot of work, because they put their everything on you. You got to take total responsibility of that female. I'm referring to the BDSM stuff that I slightly touched in. They call you for everything. Should I do this? Should I do that? Everything. They can't make up a decision because you became their master. It's just like a king. It's a lot of work. It's like a pimp. What's that song? It's hard out there for a pimp. It sure in the fuck is. Think about dealing with 3 hoes, just 3 hoes, or 3 women that you're hoeing out. 3 women at once in your face. So let's take the first one, physical safety. I was touched on it briefly. A lot of males that I see online, because of their height, that's one of the obstacles that they're facing, is they don't make women feel physically safe. If you're not a pretty boy, then it's a challenge. That's why you got to have a gimmick. I'm thinking of Ace Ortiz. He became a great dancer. The Chinese guy on my site, he's 5'7". He became a pimp. He's in Canada. It's legal up there, but he opened up a bordello. And he first got good with dancing. He had a gimmick. If you're not a badass in martial arts, then you need a gimmick. Some kind of gimmick. Because women are very vulnerable. Do you know how many times, I think it's per second, a woman is raped? And the majority of the time it's by somebody that looks like them. Someone that looks like them. The Dominant Society put out this thing that, black guys out there raping white women. And if you look at the FBI stats, it's actually 66.2% of the rapes are committed by white males. So it's people that look like them that's doing the raping. 33 is African Americans. Oh, but there's a small. Let's keep it on the numbers. So women, they're aware that they're vulnerable. They're aware of their vulnerability. And if you're kind of creepy, you haven't solved that part of your problems. That's one of the things that people who are old virgins, you become creepy, by the way. If you're a virgin in your 20s, you now give off a creepy vibe. Because you think about it all the time. You're a virgin. Let's say you're 24, 25, you're a 25-year-old virgin. You think about it all the time. And then you try to rationalize it. But all that thought that you're putting into it changes your vibration and your energy. And you're now on that weird vibration energy. Normal men have already solved that problem in high school or shortly after that. So they don't have the same feel that you have. And that's one of the things that you're going to have to learn to get over. Like I advise some males who just can't even get a starter girl, unattractive chick, they get their dick in. Oh, but I want my first time to be special. That's like feminine. That's girly. We've been feminized. You guys who say that, you've been feminized. Why don't you go to a gay place and hang out? So what I had some guys do was go to a professional. But you got to get rid of that V card, that energy, that stigma that you put around yourself. And you change your own energy. And I have no idea how to mask it. I didn't go through that. I can only teach what I experienced and the stuff that I've learned in real life. So if you're creepy, she's going to pick up on that. Remember, women are raped every day. They're kidnapped. They're cut in little pieces. And they're aware of this. So they have to be careful. Years ago, I think it was about 2007, there was a dating coach up in Canada that was busted. He was harassing these girls. His audio file was going around. I don't know if you guys are aware of that. he ended up being a total weirdo. And he's trying to teach dating up in Canada. A total weirdo. To where this woman recorded him and uploaded the file on the internet. So you never know what type of weirdos are out there. Women want to feel physically safe because they don't want to be raped. Do you want to be raped? Do you want to be thrown in prison? Think about it. You don't want to be raped. They don't want to be raped either. Now, there's this thing called destiny and how women, that's what I used. And I said that to women. I think it was because I believe it. As I said earlier, every female that I met, we were destined to meet. They felt my energy and they became attracted to me. Again, I approach everything from energy. So if I'm a little bit too metaphysical for you, you might find Coach Corey Wayne to be more your type. But women love that. It made like sex was more meaningful and dangerous and powerful. My energy, as you guys saw yesterday, reading what women said, was that strong. The woman said I was like a sucking machine, sucking up her energy. And I built myself that way through use of my attitude and actually using my energy like that. Attitude is vitally important. Vitally important. You got to have the right attitude. So with these women, after we had sex, and I always talk about, I think we were destined to meet. And then we talk about how, they start going into the future stuff. And I kind of gloss over that because I didn't know who was going to be in my future or not. But for women, when something's unplanned, that's why they didn't bed with me that night. They think that it was just meant to happen. They don't want to go back to their work and tell their coworkers or their girlfriends that, they met Chris and they got fucked that night. And my reputation had actually grown in this town. I believe I told you fellas, I was practicing, as I talked about earlier, there were good coaches there online. A guy named Alan. And he talked about, give a girl a napkin, said, I'm going to leave a unique message for you, compliment for you on my answering machine. And I was trying that little technique at the movie theater. If you're in Sacramento, it's one off of Truxell. Truxell? Yeah, Truxell. Anyways, where I did this, I would drive way over there because they had fresh popcorn. So I thought she was a grown woman. She had the hips, the little waist, the type of body I like, really broad hips, ass in the back, little tiny waist. She was tall. I was with my boy Craig. Yeah, I'm gonna try that, and I wrote it on this napkin. Actually, it was a piece of paper. No, it was a napkin. Yeah, and I went up and gave it to her. Went to the movies, and then went home. There was a whole bunch of hang-ups, and finally a message from the girl's aunt. And the fucking aunt knew me. And she said, she's underage, but you go for it if you want. But she said, I know of you. So she knew of my reputation that I already ruined in my business world when I was teaching fitness classes. I'd fucked a bunch of students, fucked a bunch of teachers. And I finally got smart to leave that shit alone and start going to nightclubs. Do all my hunting at nightclubs. So my reputation had grown. Girls had seen me at clubs because I would rotate around all different clubs and I would pull girls from the clubs. And, people, they remember that shit. They go back to the same club. They see that dude come in. But because I was a player, it actually made me more attractive to women. For a woman to land a player, it's like a kudo for them. If they could keep me and bend me to their will. So that's an accomplishment. I got that player, Chris Arnett. I broke his ass. You see him bragging about the shit. But either way, they like to feel that whole thing, it was destined to meet, is my point. They like to surrender because women are feminine. They have female energy. And that's a surrendering energy. That's a taking in energy. They take in and they nurture. So they surrender. And if you don't get your women to surrender in bed, because sex for women is about surrendering. I'm referring to average women, not these masculoids that are running around, get on top of you, slapping you weak males, and telling you whose dick is this. And you guys screaming hands up, it's yours, baby, it's yours. And then you sit there and, why can't she initiate sex? You know what the weak fucks I'm talking about. So they like to surrender. They also like emotional variety. I'm giving you guys some tools to make you more attractive to women so that they'll want you, to make you, raise your attractive level up if you have emotional variety. So I talked about that emotional variety. If you're plain and boring, stuck in is it on or is it off? Those guys are programmers, know what I'm talking about. Is the bit on or is it off? You're in that world. Oh, God, you're a nightmare. I feel sorry for women who got to be with you, your type. If you're crunching numbers in your head, I feel sorry for women who got to be with you. If you're just a typical dweeb, geek personality, I feel sorry for women. You want to get women anyway, but if you did, I feel sorry for them. I believe it was in 2008. I shared with my old YouTube channel what this woman said. I pray none of you guys ever get that bad, but she said, come close. This guy had the personality of an ear. An ear, fellas. An ear. Oh, fuck. Think about that. I don't know if you guys have enough imagination to expand beyond your big, thick heads. An ear. Oh, God. Oh, fuck. That freaked me out for a long time. The personality of an ear. Whew. So obviously he wasn't giving women anything to choose. So when you're looking at emotional variety, that's one of the things you want to give women that you want to just show women that you have, more emotional variety. Humor works really well. But if you're really serious scientist type, I don't recommend humor because your humor and normal people's humor are two different things. They will not understand your humor. I suggest you start going to some comedy shows and learn to see what normal people laugh at. If you're white, I recommend you go to a white comedian. Don't go to black comedians. All we do is, we can cuss and black folks start laughing. Fuck you, motherfuckers. And we start laughing. In fact, that's what Bernie Mac did. I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. That means I'm not scared of you motherfuckers. Black folks just heads blew up and exploded. So go to a white comedian. If you're black, definitely go to a black comedian. Learn what black folks, your own race, laughs at. So you can kind of relax a little bit and chill out. Stop being so uptight. People are wrapped too tight. If they're Caucasian, they get wrapped too tight. They become racist because that brain is wrapped tight. It's got to hyper focus on something. It knows it's insecure, so it focuses on people that it can that it considers not as superior as they want to be. So that type really becomes racist types. Their brains are wrapped so tight. They hyper focus on things. That's why black people attract white trolls because these people, they're wrapped too tight. So if we can give a woman a sense of safety, you do this while you're talking to her. If she feels that, you know, you got a strong aura, strong energy, she'll feel safe around you. Okay. Women are drawn to strength, to dominance. Yeah, I said it. Dominance. She wants to feel the man she's with is strong. That's why sometimes if you haven't shown her that you're strong, she'll start to, test you. She'll start to act up a bit. That's a test. That's why you're getting shit tests. That's why the nerds online came up with this concept of shit tests. Girls were shit testing them because they were not strong males. She wants you to be strong. Okay. She'll do things that will test you on your strength. I talked about yesterday the one Mexican girl, you know, eyeballing these Mexicans, you know, fucking with them, and you know, licking her tongue at them and shit like that. That was a test on me, and I passed it. I took her to the side, and I gave her the lecture. She never did it again, but I'd keep her that long. See, women, they tend to identify with the strength of the man that she's with. That man owns his own business. Okay, so I went into Toastmasters. I started winning contests right away. Look behind me. Those are all first place speaking ribbons. Then there's plaques that went to higher level competition. Don't think Jovina was not there at those competitions feeling all good and being able to go back to work and talk about he won. I'm an African American male. I was up against, you know, Caucasian people. I've never competed against anyone black. Toastmasters, there's not very many black folks in Toastmasters. I think we should be learning public speaking. But anyways, it was you know, doctors, attorneys, medical professionals types in medical fields, teachers that I was beating. And I did it by having a personality, number one. That's it right there. Those people tend to be kind of dry. So I came in, you know, with some jokes and, you know, having a personality. You know, brothers do things. But I still won. And think about when I first started getting serious with Jovina. She was able to, you know, show off to her girlfriends at work. Her friends that she used to have, but I kind of scooted out the picture. She was able to call them, you know, and brag. Actually, Jovina didn't have very many friends when I met her. She was like me, not a lot of friends. Anyways, so don't think she didn't identify with my strength. You know, women can glom onto your strength. That's why if you're like working at Subway, you got to start doing something for yourself. Black guys, you really got to start doing something for yourselves to raise yourselves up. Sorry, bad English there. To raise yourselves up. Start a part-time business, please. You've got to do something to improve your state because women will see that. You will give her bragging rights. And I know it seems like it's a lot. Oh, you got to do such a lot to get laid. I'm talking about, not talking about getting laid. I'm talking about being a king. See, there's people that get laid, there's people that date, and they're kings. Kings get laid whenever they want. People get laid, they got to go out and hunt and do all this work to get it. People are dating, they got to suffer a relationship. Sorry, but you guys know how hard relationships can be sometimes. Okay. There's a saying that women give sex to go into relationships. Men go into relationships to get sex. And then when they get into relationships, they're cut off. Oftentimes they get cut off. Men, we look at women and choose women based on their beauty. Women base it on other characteristics, such as the characteristics that she would like to embody, like strength, power, because women, they're powerless. They feel powerless. They feel like they lack strength. So they want that in their man. If you're a weak male, you are victim to the forces of the universe of your life. You're not a powerful male. A powerful male can go out there, and being with him is like being safe, because that man will be able to handle anything that comes his way. A normal male is reacting to things that are happening to him. Like you suddenly have a flat tire and you don't have the money to get the tire fixed. You get a ticket. You get money to pay the ticket. You don't have the money to pay, this for black fellows, to pay your registration. That's the thing that a lot of blacks do, is they don't pay the registration, but they're out of the fucking clubs. They don't invest in that type of stuff. And I've been there. I've been there when I was younger. They'll put $20 in the tank, knowing it takes $50 to fill the tank up. And then they got to waste all that energy and gas and time to go back to put another 20 in, instead of just filling the damn thing up. So a person of power takes care of business. I've met older blacks that took care of business, and they're well off in their old age. I met a man that was having his, I think it was his 82nd birthday. And this is down in Georgia. He owned a lot of property. He also owned a RV park next to a casino, Indian casino. He owned the land there, so he was going to let people park on the land. And eventually, he was charging though, but eventually he opened up a real RV park. And he was a real nice guy. I started talking to him. He gave me a present. Inside the present, Jovina, is that rice in the bag?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, he has this bag, this burlap bag with rice in it. And
You can either freeze it or heat it.
you can freeze or heat it. It's for, aches and pains. But he said you can also open it up and get a meal out of it. But he said, heat it up or freeze it and put it on your sore spots. Great idea. And don't think I will never forget him. It's a great marketing tool. But let's get back on this. Of women choosing you, give you the kind of qualities that women will want, which is that of a dominant male. Please have a dominant male voice as well. Listen to your voice for it, record your voice. And if you talk like this, you might want to change your voice and start speaking down, at least into your throat, like I just did in my throat. Now I'm going down into my chest. See, I'm speaking from my chest. Now I'm going down into my stomach. I'm speaking from my stomach. And now someone asked me, how do you speak from your balls? And I'm now speaking from my balls right now. I drop my consciousness into my nuts. So I'm connecting to my balls. And this is how I talk to women in bed. This is the kind of voice that actually women love to hear in the bedroom. It's called a bedroom voice. You have to learn how to control your voice. Okay. Now let me bring it up to my chest, where I normally talk from. So they want to be with a guy that's dominant. That's why people like me get women attracted to us. And what they do, they submit. But I've always been this way. Even back when my girlfriend played me and I got married to her, she stopped taking her birth control pills. And I'm not going to, father a son that's not, doesn't have my name. It's just, I was old fashioned. Anyways, even then, that's just the way I was. My natural personality is as a dominant male, as male should be, because I was masculine. When you're masculine, you exhibit dominance. Does that make sense? When you have masculine energy, that's testosterone. Now, for everything that's physical, there is a energetic side to it. So I had a lot of energy that's masculine energy. When that energy drops into the physical plane, it becomes a lot of testosterone. And I still have tons of it. I've relayed to you fellas, I was taking one of those supplements. and my left testicle started hurting. I went to the guy that was selling them, and he said, because you have too much testosterone, you don't need this. And I forgot, it was for increasing your energy. I think they were using it for something else, but I was using it to get more energy. I always look for ways to get more energy because I always felt tired. I was fucking a lot at night, not getting the right amount of sleep. And I did that for like 20 fucking years. So when ephedrine came out, I didn't use it for weight loss because I was teaching aerobics. Twin Labs had a product called Diet Fuel, and it had ephedrine in it. And I already got hooked on coffee, so I could teach an aerobics class and be exciting and translate energy to my students. See, I was like a lot of you guys, because I was shy. So I wanted to be this energetic instructor, high energy guy, and that just wasn't my type. So I learned to fake it. I started using supplements. So I discovered ephedrine. And I would take, ephedrine pill in the morning when I woke up. And that allowed me to wake up. I'm not a morning person, I discovered. At one point, I actually canceled all of my morning clients, and I only worked the evenings just so I could sleep in. Actually, I worked noon and then all the way through the evenings. And that was all of my all of my injuries healed up during that time period because I was able to get a full 8-hour sleep. If a girl came over, no biggie, I'm not going anywhere to 12 o'clock. So I was able to get at least enough sleep to allow the problems I was having to fully recover. Because that's when you start recovering, is when you're sleeping, fellas. That's where you start getting over your colds, your body injuries. So let me get back on point. We're talking about women like dominant males. They love dominant men, masculine men. So I gave you the idea that showed you how in my body, that's been my type. That's been what I've been about, or my natural way. Don't know how. My dad wasn't an uber dominant male. In fact, he's more passive, like very passive. So I don't know where it came from. Probably looking at him and saying, I don't want him to be like that. That might have did it. I don't know. There are a lot of people in this community, like that one guy that turned against me, Jonathan. They resort to taking testosterone. I don't know if it's racial. He was half Scottish and half East Indian. And I don't know of any East Indian bodybuilders. No offense to East Indians. You guys don't eat meat, or cow, rather words. And there are a lot of good products in cows. The meat of cows is very good for building muscle. I don't know, but there seems to be fellows who are real low in testosterone. And that's why I was saying that, weak men don't deserve to breed. Because if you're a low testosterone type, you shouldn't pass that on. Why doom your child? I look at people who are the small people, and I hate to say it, that I wouldn't, if I was one, I wouldn't want to have a child. I want to pass that on. Roll the dice and hope the child comes out normal. And then I wouldn't want a child because I'd be looking at my son way up there like that. And this is my own personal feelings. I'd be jealous, actually. So anyways, you got to learn to become more of a dominant male. You got to learn to project masculinity and energy, because that's what they want. A dominant masculine male. Remember, they read those damn books. I'm referring to white women. They read those damn books, those novellas. Go to any airport, you see them there. They show the dashing guy on the front. That's porn, by the way. Inside there are porn scenes. Okay? Jovina,
Yeah.
how many of those books that you read, well, she hardly ever reads them, but have sex scenes in them?
Almost all of them do.
All of them. Almost all of them. Yeah. So, yeah. All right. So I've been talking about the key concept that women choose. And I'm trying to give you some tools that can help them choose you by telling you about what they want in men. Okay? There is no one perfect guy. So they go for, like, I asked my older brother's wife, why my brother? Because she sued the singer James Brown for child support because her son, Michael, is his son. She was of that quality. And my older brother, he crunches numbers in his head like that. And she said he had qualities that she liked. He was of the original nerds, and they knew how they pursued women. My friend Neil, he pursued women. They weren't afraid. I don't know where you new nerds learned this fear, probably online from the community, but it's not your normal way. It's not a nerd's normal way. It's not a man's normal way to be in fear, by the way. So let's finish up this lecture. If you learn to understand what women want, you back engineer. So if a woman chooses, you back engineer from what they want. They want strong male. They want all these different qualities I just talked about. Emotional variety, a guy that can stimulate emotional variety in them, get them to laugh. And I talked about, you guys who are wrapped too tight, how many of the time they become racist. Or if they're wrapped too tight, the black community, they become uber haters. They'll hate white folks. They'll hate black folks, all that stuff. You back engineer. Now you got to think about, okay, well, what type am I? Let's say you're a black sagger and you want white women that are doctors. That would mean that you'd have to take off the sagging clothes, stop smoking the weed. There are doctors who smoke weed, but stop smoking the weed. Start reading books and start wearing clothes that those kind of women would want to see a man in. This is how you can trick the system. You start dressing like how they would see a man. Now think about, okay, if she's a doctor, what type of family does she come from? Do you think she came? Do you think all of them come from the ghetto? Or did she came from an upper class, middle class type of family? If you pick that one, you're right. So what did her father dress like? Was her father walk around sagging and waddling side to side, holding his pants, smoking, no intelligence in his brain because he never read a book? Or do you think her father was probably pretty well damn educated himself, no matter what race he is? So you got to learn to back engineer, fellas. You got to learn to think and use your heads. There's a saying that was in the pimp game that this is a skull game. That means you got to use your head. You got to think. And pimps are masters at looking at women and back engineering and present themselves in a certain light that sells. Because you got to learn to sell yourself. So for all of us out there, there is a market for us. I talked about earlier how when I was doing the burly guy, the flannel shirts, the black lumberjack guy, I attracted women. And it wasn't just white women. There were black women that were giving me eye contact also. Now, Jovian is probably not aware of this, but we went to get groceries Friday night. I guess she'll hear the story too. I'm on the cart because I push the cart because I lean on it. She had disappeared. And this black girl comes around the corner and she makes eye contact and smiles. And I knew it was that type of smile. She was older sister. And she smiled. And she said, hi. And I said, hi, how are you doing? And then I was listening to I had this down on the cart, and the audiobook was playing in there.
But that was the reality in this new life.
Okay. She went down. Before that, I'd seen another sister that they both were wearing exercise pants. Anyways, I saw her. I guess it's her sister. And anyway, then she came around the corner. I saw her. Jovina came back, and the woman's attitude changed. She was black, and she saw Jovina. So Jovina ruined a chance for me to get with a decent sister by showing up, ruining my game. Yeah, whatever. She didn't say anything to me. You know, we were behind them in line. Jovina never even knew that. We were behind. Remember that black couple was in front of us? Or those two black sisters? Yeah. And then she was the type that I would date. She was tall. She was slim. She had booty. I could tell she was older because she was starting to get that, you know, she was in that thin face, but they was starting to get a little jowly around the cheeks. And I was wearing shorts, cut-off shorts, and a shirt like this, you know, black shirt. I have tons of black shirts, and you know, if you see me in a black shirt more than one day, they're different shirts. The last shirt that I wore yesterday had holes right here. It was for my old patch, and this year I bought brand new shirts. So, anyways, I guess she liked the gun show. There's a market for everybody, and I've got a belly. She probably likes, you know, black men that are kind of burly. So if you're a burly kind of black guy, there's a market for you. If you're a slim kind of black guy, there's a market for you. If you're a slim kind of white guy, there's a market for you. There are women like slim white guys who are white or whatever. If you're masculine, you know, buffed out, and there was a bodybuilder there, he was about 5'2". He was swole up here and swole through his arms, and you saw veins. Of course, they always wear, you know, tank tops. And he had these little bitty legs. There's a market for him. There are chicks that go for, you know, 5 feet tall bodybuilders. They could tower over because they're into the whole thing. It doesn't matter what you are. There is a market for you. You just got to learn to find it, to cut your energy down. Because if, let's say you're that 5 foot tall, I think he's actually about 5'2", which is not that much different. 5'2", he's about 5'2", and he's all swollen. Now, if he goes to a club, he's gonna have trouble, not just because of height, because he's all swollen. Chicks can't stand that. She can't stand that look. She doesn't like skinny guys either. But she has a certain look, you know, she likes burly. And he's going to start chasing after the hot chicks in there. It's not going to work for him. That's not the place for him. The place for him is in the gym to see gym rat chicks. So you got to learn where to market yourself at. If you're an emo, if you're like the Japanese guy on here, you know, it may not do any good for him to go to a club. He walks in there kind of dressed Comic-Con-ish or whatever. He's no offense, you guess you True Enlightenment or whatever your name is. Now, you're kind of feminine. You're soft by your photo that you show me. So a regular nightclub is not the place for you. As I said, you might want to go to, you know, Comic-Con type stuff, get involved in the community, and that's where you might meet your next girlfriend. But there's a type for him. There are chicks that are all into that shit. They dress up like anime characters. And by the way, those two have a better relationship than if you went to a club and, you know, flashed a lot of cash and attract some gold digging bitch. There was a problem with the gold diggers in the PUA community. There were these Asian so-called pickup artists. And I looked into their game, and it was really just about money. They were bragging about dating strippers. And one of them ended up blasting out, you know, crying because she left him. She left me for a guy with more money. I don't want you guys to have to do that type of relationship, whether you're Asian, white, or black, where, you know, it's all about the money. there are a lot of Asian players out there that just learn the fucking game instead of having to use their money. So there's a market for everybody, fellas. I don't care who you are, what you look like. But the problem comes when you focus on what's not your market. You just focus on looks, the hot chick that's in the club or in whatever environment you're in. And let's say you're unattractive. Let's say you're a 5. Let's say you put your profile or your picture up on Hot or Not, and it came back a 4. And that's what hot chicks rank you at. Not average chicks. People go to Hot or Not, it tend to be, hot chicks want to get props, get more worshipers like they do the Instagram stuff. So let's say the hot chicks rank you a 4. That's pretty telling. You go to a club, your market's not hot chicks. That's what that will tell you. You won't be dating hot chicks anytime soon. That's why I'm the least liked person in this community, because I tell it like it really is. It sucks for my business. I run business away. I don't want to lie to people. It sucks badly, fellas, that I'm the least liked person. PUAs hate me because I destroy what they're talking about, because I say women do the choosing, and they don't want you to know that. They want you to believe that attraction isn't a choice. That's what one of the gurus was saying. In fact, the Double Your Dating guy will start saying that after a while too. Attraction isn't a choice. It actually is a choice. You think women are so stupid that they don't make a choice on who they actually like? Jovina? Are women so stupid they don't make a choice? Wait, that's bait the question. The guys that you have dated, including me, did you have some form of attraction for them?
Well, yeah, of course.
Okay. Was it based on solely on looks?
For me, it wasn't.
Yeah. For her, yeah,
That's
it wasn't.
You see, but then
That's the first thing you see, yes?
something else there after the fact.
Yeah. There was a dude that he was real popular in the club. This dude had body outrageous. A waistline like that big, shoulders that went out to here, big ass arms. He was a stripper. He had an ugly face, though, I think. Jovina.
Yeah.
That Kiani guy, what his name?
Yeah.
Do you think he had an ugly face? Well, white non-blacks don't know how to judge black people. I thought he had an ugly face myself, but
it wasn't. He wasn't like the most attractive face. No.
Yeah. But his body was like the best in the club.
Yeah, he's in good shape.
Yeah. His was better than mine back then, and I was in damn good shape. Anyways, Jovita rejected him because he had no substance to his character. He was all about, because he was a lot of strippers. They get into that whole stripper thing, and they get self-centered up here. That's a turnoff, immediate turnoff. But one of my other ex-girls actually succumbed to him and slept with him after me. It's like a payback thing. And she told me. That's why she did it, to pay me back. By the way, I slept with Kiona. Women. They can be so petty. Huh?
Oh, my God.
Yeah. I'm going to end up, close out today's lecture. You guys now know the number one secret to successful women is to recognize they do the choosing. From there, you got to sit down and think. You got to skip what you think your market is and go for what likes you. I'm trying to teach the real truth, and the real truth is you got to reverse everything you've learned online. Yes, you can choose, but good luck with that. And have a nice day. Yes, it's a numbers game. So you go knock on this door, like a telemarketer, knock on this door, knock on that door, knock on the door. Eventually, a door is going to open for you. But that's not what I teach here. I teach you the way it actually works. By the way, the door that opened is because she chose. Something about him, that person that was knocking on the door that she liked. whether it was his personality, whether it was conversation, or his looks. Okay? By the way, PUA conversation doesn't sell because it's all about yelling these stories and then stacking these scripts is what they used to do. And it wasn't about real conversation. As one of my members learned online that I talked about yesterday, he was doing this robotic stuff online and he was getting shunted out. Robotic conversation does not work because women are conversation junkies. They like good conversation. Good conversation feels good on their brain. And it's a skill. I learned it. If I can learn it, you can learn it. One woman said game felt good to her mind. And she knew dudes were spitting game. But she was the one that said at 15, she taught her girlfriend do you guys prove me wrong. Prove me wrong that women don't do the choosing.